My name is Peadar Grant and I'm a lecturer in the Department of Computing Science and Mathematics at Dundalk Institute of Technology. In first year computing, all of the students take a module called Digital Systems. And Digital Systems introduces a lot of the really important non-programming parts of computing. In Digital Systems we have 160 students taking the module, and the question for me is, how do I deliver the same level of personalised feedback to them when they're studying for the exam that they're used to getting in the smaller subjects where they perhaps have 20 in the one class. The aim was to give the students a resource that they could use once they had left the lecture to see what their skill level with the concepts was, and see how they could close the gap between what they needed for the exam and for their later modules and where they were at the moment, and to give them a hint or a pathway towards getting from their actual performance right now to the desired performance that they needed to be. I had some experience already with using Moodle quizzes, and I found that they were very good at providing rapid feedback that the students could access any time, maybe on a bus, on the train or at home. But the challenge here was to give that feedback to students on topics that were a little bit beyond the capability in places of Moodle's quiz engine. The other thing was to give an incentive for students to use them and to make them fun to use and engaging to use. So the first thing I did was to use the adaptive mode, which means that the Moodle, instead of asking the question once, will give students multiple tries to get it right. And it'll tell them whether it's right or wrong, but it'll hold back the full solution until they've submitted the quiz. The second thing is, by putting a small penalty on the marks, you encourage the students to try and get it right first time. And by doing that, students are asking each other questions and they're checking their own work rather than just plugging in numbers one after another. It worked reasonably well. When I looked at Moodle's logs, over half of the students had used at least one of the quizzes, and most of the students who attempted the quizzes kept redoing them until they were actually getting a score of 100%. The students said that they would like to see the quizzes extended beyond the initial 3 key areas that we started with. They'd like to see a lot more quizzes, and they'd like to see them cover all of the material. If you're interested in trying this in your own class, my own advice would be to start small. So pick 2 or 3 pilot areas to start off with. And secondly, it would be to engage the students in what you're doing. Tell them a little bit about why you're giving them the quiz, what it's for, and you may get some points or tips back from them on what they see as important in terms of the feedback the quiz gives them.